So here's a situation I bet a lot of you have been in. Someone tells you your website is SEO optimized, but when you go looking for it on Google, crickets. It's totally invisible. Well, you are definitely not alone. In this explainer, we're going to dig into exactly why that happens and what Google really wants to see from your website.
Yeah, this is the phrase that kicks the whole thing off, right? My website is SEO optimized. And you hear that and think, great, that's a huge box checked off the list. But what does that even mean? What are they actually talking about? And this is where everything gets so frustrating. If your website is supposed to be so technically perfect, then why can't anyone find it? The answer is there's a huge misunderstanding about what the word optimized actually means to Google right now.
So let's just dive right in and start by tearing that myth apart. We're going to get to the bottom of what a developer is usually talking about when they use that term, and more importantly, why it's just one tiny little piece of a much, much bigger puzzle. Okay, so 9 times out of 10, when a developer says your site is optimized, what they're really talking about is technical SEO. And look, this stuff is absolutely crucial. Think of it like the foundation of a house. Things like your page speed, making sure it works on a phone, having the right tags, you gotta have it. But a foundation isn't a house, is it? And this right here is the absolute key. This is the big takeaway. All that technical stuff, it makes your website readable for Google. It's like printing a book with clear, easy-to-read text. But it does absolutely nothing to make it visible. It doesn't convince Google to put your book on the front shelf of the bookstore for everyone to see. And that, my friends, is a totally different ballgame. Which brings us to the real reason why so many of these technically perfect websites just fail. It's what I call the static brochure problem. And I have a feeling you're going to recognize this one instantly. Sound familiar? One general page for all your services, barely any written content, no blog, no portfolio or project pages, no links between your pages, and really, no way for the site to ever grow. Most websites are just digital brochures, a services page and a contact us page. From Google's point of view, there's nothing here. How can it possibly recommend you for a specific service if you've barely written anything about it? And this just lays it out perfectly. It's two completely different ways of thinking. On the one hand, you have the brochure site. It just sits there. It's a cost. It's waiting for people to hopefully find it. But on the other hand, an SEO-ready site, that's a living, breathing asset. It grows. It builds authority. It actively goes out and brings in business. One is just a document. The other is an engine for your company. Okay, so if technical perfection isn't the end goal, then what is? What is Google actually looking for when it's scanning trillions of pages on the web? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple, but it changes everything. It's looking for trust. And this is so important to understand. Google's main job isn't to give awards for clean code. Its job is to give its users the best, most trustworthy recommendations. It has to feel confident that you are a genuine expert who can actually solve the searcher's problem. And trust isn't just some fuzzy, vague concept. Oh no. Google measures it in very specific ways. Number 1, are your services crystal clear? 2, is your location relevant to the searcher? 3, are you consistently creating content that proves you know your stuff? And 4, do all the signals about your business across the internet tell the same consistent story? That last point about aligned signals is a big one. Your website and your Google business profile have to be in sync. They have to tell the same story. If your website says you offer 5 different services, but your Google profile only has 3 of them listed, well, to Google, that's a red flag. It creates confusion. Everything has to match up perfectly to build that solid picture of trust.
All right, so we've busted the myths. We know it's not just about tech stuff. It's about trust and content. So what does that actually look like? Let's get practical. What are the real building blocks of a site that Google is actually going to want to show to people?
So, here's the blueprint. Forget that one generic services page. You need a dedicated, detailed page for every single service you offer. You need to create pages or content for the specific towns and neighborhoods you work in. You've got to show off what you know with blog articles, project examples, case studies, and then you tie it all together with internal links, creating this rich, interconnected web of information that screams authority to Google. And this quote just nails it. A website that ranks isn't one that just looks right on launch day. It's one that continues to grow and evolve over time. The goal isn't a finished website.
The goal is a website that you are constantly adding to. More value, more proof, more expertise. It's a living thing. Now look, this whole idea, building trust through content and having a smart structure, it's not just some nice to have anymore. It is quickly becoming absolutely non-negotiable. And the reason why has everything to do with where Google search is going in the very near future.
Basically, Google's AI is getting ridiculously smart. It's not just a dumb robot looking for keywords anymore. It's actively trying to understand what your business is all about. And to do that, it needs a clear structure and really deep content to feel confident enough to recommend you. That simple, static brochure website from a few years ago, it has zero chance in this new world.
So really, this all comes down to a fundamental choice for your business. When your brochure site isn't working, the quick fix is to just throw money at paid ads. And sure, it works instantly, but you're just renting attention. The second you stop paying, poof, it's gone. The other path, strategic SEO, is about building an asset, something that grows in value over time and keeps paying you back for years to come. So I'll leave you with this one question to think about. I want you to take a really honest look at your own website. Is it just a static digital brochure that's sitting there collecting dust, waiting to be found? Or is it an active, growing asset that's been built from the ground up to earn trust and bring new customers right to you? Because honestly, the answer to that question is going to decide whether you're visible or invisible from now on.